What do you feel you've learned about yourself in this leadership position you've had this year?
I've learned that it's a very interesting experience to manage the transition from representing yourself to representing a group.
Mm-hmm.
I've really never been in a position of representing anyone other than Parker, and I'm very comfortable representing myself, less so representing the women of HBS, because the women of HBS are so diverse in so many ways. There's no way that I could speak on behalf of all of them, nor would I want to speak on behalf of all of them. And I think it's just an interesting thought process when people ask you questions like we're doing this interview now. Mm-hmm. I'm speaking as myself, but because of the role, I feel like somehow like your words get imbued with a bit more weight,
mm-hmm.
which is, it's an honor really, but it's a humbling experience. It's kind of a scary experience, mm-hmm. but it's certainly a learning experience for any leader who at some point is going to lead an organization and represent people who are not yourself. It's certainly been an evolution.
Separate from this, on your class card I saw that you enjoy reading fiction,
yes.
And I did want to ask any recent favorites or favorite authors or...
That's a good one. I do love fiction. Actually, I majored in business in undergrad, but I minored in creative writing, and I wrote a short novel for my thesis. It's fiction, and my dad would always joke that I was going to graduate with a degree in creative accounting. But I do read. I write a lot. I read a lot. I would say one of my favorite works of fiction. I'm always inspired by pieces of fiction that are based in some kernel of truth,
mm-hmm.
or there's something to ground it in truth, like a historical truth or something that actually happened, and there's a story that's like woven around it.
Sure.
One of my favorite books, it's pretty intense, but it's wonderful, is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Absolutely.
By Jonathan Safran Foer. It's such a beautiful book, and
yeah.
As you know, it's based on a kid who lost his father in 9/11. And so to have a reference point for me, like we all know where we were
mm-hmm.
that day,
mm-hmm.
you can kind of really put yourself in their shoes, but there's this beautiful fictional story around that event. That's the kind of thing that I love.
Yeah. Gosh, I remember reading the end of that book on the subway and just like really having to keep my composure.
No, it's intense. And you get like
intense.
the flip book with the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really good.
What does the future hold for you? Do you know what you're doing after graduation, or still looking, or?
Yes, I have a lot coming up. I'm really actually excited to graduate from HBS because I have so many interesting things coming my way. So the first exciting thing that's happening before we even graduate, I'm getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. So that's like a whole new adventure to embark on. And then after that, I'm going to move to the middle of nowhere, Virginia, where my husband-to-be is in law school.
All right.
I'm going to go back into consulting, so I'll fly in and out. I'll do that for at least 2 years. And then after that, I don't know. I mean, he'll graduate, I'll finish my initial 2-year stint, and
mm-hmm.
then it's kind of like a world is your oyster situation, but now I got a co-pilot.
Absolutely. 10 or 20 years from now, what do you hope to have, or 30 years, I mean, gosh, what do you hope to be able to say as you look back in your career? What do you hope to accomplish?
So I've thought about this a lot recently because I'm in ALD,
mm-hmm.
Authentic Leadership Development, so we do a lot of soul searching, and I realized that this whole sort of like women's issue, I hate the word issue, it's like the women's issue,
mm-hmm.
but the gender issues, like they actually really drive me much more so than I ever would have thought. And so I think in 20 or 30 years, I want to look back and know that I helped to build an organization that enables people of all sorts to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Women, men, people of different races, ethnicities, whatever their diversity may be, I want to know that I helped shape some organization that made it such that people could just do their absolute best. And I think for me, that'll be victory. I don't know what the company will be. It could be a tiny startup. It could be a huge Fortune 500. But I think that's something that's really driving me. And if I can look back and know that I made that sort of a difference, it would certainly be success.
Parker Waltz, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.